Just 6 days ago, Tesla CEO Elon Musk sent the newswires and Tesla share prices into a bit of a frenzy by making one simple tweet reading, "Am considering taking Tesla private for $420, funding secured." That tweet, which came in the middle of the trading day in New York, led to a temporary halt in Tesla trading, as well as a lot of speculation in the electric car world. Coming hot on the heels of an announcement that the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, PIF, had acquired around 5% of Tesla through private trade deals, it didn't take long for many commentators, including myself, to speculate that the very same institution could be the source of the funds needed to buy Tesla stock from those who did not wish to retain their Tesla shares if and when the company became private. I'm not going to reiterate the details from last week. I'll link to the original video below. But now that the dust has settled and we can see a little more clearly what's going on at Tesla, what's next for the company? And more importantly, does Tesla have the funding or not to make that deal a reality? Before I get going, a little disclaimer. I'm not a stock market expert, I'm not a financial analyst or reporter. I'm just someone who covers cars. Don't ask me how to buy Tesla shares or if you should, because I'm not going to tell you. That's the job of your financial advisor, not a YouTuber. Okay, first up, it's worth remembering that this deal, like any other privatization deal, is likely to take some time because there's a lot of steps that must be undertaken before it can be signed and sealed. It's not something you can expect to be completed in the next week or two. Not only does the deal have to undergo full due diligence from the point of view of any new investor, but it also has to receive approval from Tesla's board of directors, as well as the majority of its shareholders, who in this case will both get a vote on the privatization going ahead, as well as a choice to keep their investment in Tesla by transferring it to a private shareholding as part of a specially established fund, or to sell their shares at the aforementioned price of $420 per share. Tesla will also have to meet Rule 13E-3 of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, which requires any company going private to provide a specific set of information to existing shareholders, as well as, in some cases, file a proxy or tender offer statement to the SEC. This paperwork required under law is essentially to ensure that the process of delisting, or going private, is carried out appropriately, with details of any alternatives considered by the company before going private, as well as a record of how the board of directors voted on measure as part of the record. Then too, there's a potential national security review where the US government may decide to step in if it fears the Saudi Arabian government may have too much control over a US company. For Musk, there's an additional bit of potential stuff to deal with, as his tweet last Tuesday appears, at least according to many reports, have intensified the spotlight Tesla is currently under from the SEC. Musk's tweet, made from his personal Twitter account, could land him in hot water because it wasn't immediately clear if his statement about funding was meant to be factual or not. While there's no official word from the SEC at the moment, the preliminary inquiry is supposedly ongoing, but it may not lead to anything more formal. To clear things up a little, Musk penned a short report on the Tesla blog earlier this morning, detailing what's happened thus far, his reasons for making the announcement public, and why he said funding secured. This post says the news that the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund has been eager to help Tesla go private for almost 2 years. Fueled by a desire to diversify its investments away from oil, representatives of the PIF have met with Musk several times over the last few years, with the most recent meeting taking place on July 31st this year, one day before Tesla's official Q2 results were published. "I left the July 31st meeting with no question that a deal with a Saudi sovereign fund could be closed and that it was just a matter of getting the process moving," Musk wrote. This is why I referred to funding secured in the August 7th announcement. This part of the letter does clarify Musk's earlier statement, but for now it appears, although I might be wrong, that there's nothing formally written down between the Saudi PIF and Tesla. Musk did say, however, that he discussed the deal with both external and internal board members, at which it was agreed that he would then reach out to Tesla's largest current shareholders to see how they viewed the potential privatization. It was at this point that Musk then decided to share the information on Twitter because he felt it wouldn't be right to share information about going private with just Tesla's largest investors. Noting that he was speaking for himself in making the announcement as a potential bidder for Tesla, not company CEO, it's hard to fault Musk's intentions. However, as with so many things in the world, following a conventional process, such as making the usual Form 8K filing with the SEC detailing these new material facts, could have dramatically changed how this was all viewed and how the SEC viewed it. Finally, let's deal with funding. Does Tesla have it or not? Well, that depends on whom you ask. Some outlets are reporting that the Saudi PIF is, at least publicly, not confirming nor denying its interest in helping Tesla go private. That's partly because, as Musk detailed in his earlier post, the PIF must go through financial and other due diligence, as well as an internal review process for obtaining approvals before anything can be confirmed from its side. Personally, I'd then want to refer to this deal as having provisional funding rather than funding secured, but I'm aware we're playing a nomenclature game at this point. It's not unheard of for a potential investor to remain quiet until more groundwork into the deal has been done. But right now, it's worth remembering that Tesla's privatization deal is still in its very early days. There's a lot that could change and probably will, so it's important to keep hold of where things are rather than where we may or may not want them to be. Will Tesla become privatized? Personally, I believe it will. How long will it take, or what hurdles lie in the way? Well, that's something for Wall Street analysts to debate. That's it. As always, hit the notification bell to hear the moment a new show is uploaded. Subscribe to both of our channels, and if you fancy it, support us by using one of the 2 links below or by buying something from our shop. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving.